Something just crossed my mind. I got a story to tell. What's going on, good people? Welcome back to the Flash by Night channel. I am TJ, aka Flash by Night, and as you heard in the intro, I've got a story to tell. So we're just gonna jump into it. It all went back about 2 years. I went to my first estate sale, of course, looking for comics. I'd never done this before, and so the process really went like this. So the estate sale started maybe 7 in the morning in a city maybe 30 minutes away from where I was. At the time, I was visiting family in Greensboro, North Carolina. And so I went to this estate sale. I went super early in the morning to make sure I knew where everything was, make sure I knew where the place was, make sure I could find it. And of course, I found it and sat there and waited. And so there were people pulling up one by one, two by two. I kind of tried to prejudge people to see who I could see that was there for the comic books that had been listed, and nobody really gave off that vibe. So once the sale started, the people that were hosting the sale, they put us in line, got us where they wanted to be, gave us the instructions, gave us the rundown. It's first come, first serve. So they kind of lined us up in the order in which you signed the book. And after they gave instructions, they let us in. And so I went directly upstairs to where the comic books were supposed to be held. Little did I know that all of the people that I scoped out and ignored because I didn't think they were there for the comics were there for the exact same thing I was. And so they kind of beat me to most of the well-known comics. They beat me to the Supermans, to the Batman comics, to the Hulk comics and things. But what I did find was I found some Flash comics that were pretty beat up, and so I left them there. But I also found some Eternals comics. That's right, the Eternals that are coming out sometime soon. Who knows when this movie is going to come out? But anyway, I found the comics and they were in pretty good shape. And I don't know why no one else grabbed them, but I saw them, and I think the movie announcement had just been released maybe a week beforehand, which maybe that makes this a year ago, not 2 years ago. I may be going back too far. But in the meantime, I picked up the comics, and they were like $20 for this bundle of comics that ended up being issues 2 through 8 of the original series. Yes, 2 through 8 of the original series for $20, which, come to find out, that's a really good bargain. When I was going to the estate sale to go get books, I hadn't been collecting long, so I really didn't know what I was looking for. I just heard the name Eternals in association with the MCU and movies. So anyway, let me show you what I picked up. So the first book, of course, I picked up was issue number 8. Really clean copy. As I said before, I didn't know a whole lot about collecting. So while I knew not to get something that had been basically crumpled up, I didn't know to look for spine ticks or creases or anything like that. But this copy right here was pretty clean. That's Eternals number 8. Also, we had Eternals number 7. Once again, pretty clean copy. I think as we get to the lower numbers, I have a few spine ticks going on, but nothing really major. Here is issue number 6. And like I said, I thought that I did really well. I kind of looked up some values when I got back from the sale, and I knew that $20 was probably a good deal. I didn't know how good of a deal $20 was for these books. But as I said, I just started collecting not too long ago, and so I really didn't know what I was doing. But you have issue number 4, and if you look closely, I think you can see a couple of color breaking ticks and some issues here at the, if I can get them out of the light, some issues here at the top of the book. You can kind of see. So not all of the books are perfect, but I think they're in pretty good shape for where I found them at. And so here's issue number 3. Once again, in pretty good shape. And then I picked up issue number 2. But if you look closely, issue number 2 has a few more issues. It's probably pretty close to a reader book. But the thing that really happened, if you enjoyed Into the Spider-Verse, you kind of know the line, don't watch the mouth, watch the hands. And so that was a thing that really happened with this book that I paid no attention to when I got to this estate sale. I was so happy to find something I recognized and nobody else recognized and nobody was picking up. And I missed the fact that somebody cut the UPC out of the book. Now, I am old enough to remember a time when you went down to the store and you bought a bottle of Coke, and you would bring the bottle back, you bring the top back, you get some sort of discount because they were recycling or however the business worked. And so I wouldn't doubt if some kid, had the book and maybe cut the UPC out for some kind of contest or whatever. So I'm not really mad at that, but I'm kind of mad at myself because I let myself get overjoyed and I missed something this big. Even not collecting for a long time, I should have seen this. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is my story. Nothing huge, nothing too big. I still think the $20 I paid for all 7 books was worth it. Even though this is definitely a reader copy. I think $20 for the 6 books in pretty good condition was still a pretty good deal. But I said all that to say, don't get excited. Look at your books. Whenever you're out shopping, pay attention. Don't get overexcited because you see something. All that glitters isn't always gold. And so that was my short story about my first estate sale and me getting a little bit too excited, a little too anxious, and missing something. Don't do that to yourself, because you may end up with something you didn't want, or you may end up excited over something that you shouldn't be excited over. Isn't that right, Brave and the Bold 28? Anyway, that was my story. I appreciate you sticking around and listen to me ramble on about my estate sale adventure. If you enjoyed that, if you enjoyed the content, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to keep seeing this content from me, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and as I say every time, do all the good YouTube things. And as always, love yourself, love others, pay attention to your books, and I will be back in the flesh.